Hi everybody, welcome back to the latest episode in this mini album project. It is featuring Grand Hotel by Stamperia. And last time we got the pages mostly matted. We still have a little bit to do, but it's mostly done. And I have gone ahead and made my cover. If you watched my last series, Christmas in the Country, I explained that because we make covers the same way every single time, every single video pretty much, I've gone ahead and made a video showing you how to make covers, and I'm going to refer you to that. If I can figure out how to put the link on the screen, I will, but it will definitely be down below. I'm going to give you the measurements for your chipboard, and then I want you to, if you already know how to make covers, go ahead and make your cover. Wrap your chipboard. If you don't know how, just follow the link, watch that video, and you'll be able to make this cover, and then come back. We just had a little power surge. I don't know if you saw that. Okay, so 9 by 7, you need 2, and 9 by 2 for the spine. So cut some chipboard that size, go and watch that video, and wrap your cover, and then come on back, and we're going to make the spine. Alright, so here's our spine, and for the spine, you need a piece that is 9 1/8 by 8 3/8. Okay, and let's give you the scoring. Okay, so you're going to put this longer 9 1/8 edge across the top of your scoreboard. All right, and I want you to score it at 2, 2 1/2, 3, 3 3/8, 3 7/8, 4 3/8, 4 3/4, 5 1/4, 5 3/4, 6 1/8, 6 5/8, and 7 1/8. And all of this is on the cutting guide, so don't worry if you didn't get that written down. I'll try and remember to put it on the screen, but it's all in the cutting guide, which you can get at my blog for free, of course, and it is linked down below. All right, and then, so what you end up with is 2 inches, a 1/2 inch. Well, let me chart this way because this is actually how I did it. Okay, so 2 inches, 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, 3/8, 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, 3/8, 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, 3/8, 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, 2 inches. So what I want you to do is you're going to go over to that first 1/2 inch space and put a strip of score tape. Then you're going to skip the next 1/2 inch, skip the 3/8, and put a piece of score tape in that next 1/2 inch. Skip the 1/2, skip the 3/8, put the score tape in the next 1/2 inch, skip the 1/2, skip the 3/8, and put a piece of score tape in the next 1/2 inch. Okay? Then turn it over and put a piece of score tape in all of the 1/2 inch spaces and put them as close to the fold line between the two as possible. Okay? All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to fold so that you have score tape, and then you have an empty 1/2 inch, and you want to fold the score tape over to cover that empty 1/2 inch. Okay, and then go ahead and burnish that down, and then you have a score mark here where the that first 2 inches, and you can fold that back like that, and then you turn it over. You can just lift that up and over like that, and now you have a fin, what I call a fin. I don't know if they probably have a name, but so you can see sticking straight up. Okay, so then you're going to go to the you're going to leave this part flat. You're going to fold the next section with score tape over the next empty 1/2 inch section. Burnish, remove the back from the tape. I don't know why I don't get my tool out for this. Burnish that. Again, you're going to want to fold it. I didn't do that very efficiently. There we go. So again, you're going to have this 3/8 inch section is going to be flat, and this next fin is going to be standing up. Okay. And then just giving that a good burnish from the back. Okay. And then I'm going to fold up, fold it back on itself. Okay. No, two right here. Sort of fold it over and kind of fold it back on itself. It's a lot easier than what I just did. I don't know what I was doing. Give it a good burnish. Turn it right side up. Now we have 3 of our 4 fins. And same thing. Fold it over. It's a little harder to fold when it has that tape on the other side, but it's easier to put the tape on the other side when it's flat. So, all right. So it's going like that. And there we go. One last fold. There. And then what you need to do is take some time and really fold these back and forth in both directions and burnish them really, really well. Because the more you work these, the more it breaks down the fibers of the paper, the easier they'll turn and the flatter your pages will turn. Okay, turn it over, burnish it from this side. Now, all right, so I need to put this in the book. And in order to do that, we need some score tape on this back side. If you have the wide score tape, that would be the thing to use. I am out of it, so I'm going to have to use what I've got. I think the widest I have is my 3/8, and I'm running out of that. But what you want to do is, hang on. All right, let's see. You need to run score tape down the middle here, but you don't want to put it in the actual folds. So I think I may use 1/4 inch on that section, and then just use your, whatever you've got that's the widest you've got, and the rest. Where's my little ruler? So let me show you what I mean actually, because I'm going to fast forward through or just edit this part out so I can show you the finished. Is you want to run a piece of score tape down the middle of each of these 3/8 inch sections without actually going over those folds, because I learned from a Ginger Rob video that that makes pages more flexible than if you just totally cover the back. And I've had success with that since I started doing it that way, so that's how I do it now. Okay. do want to completely cover these 2-inch sections. So I'm going to do that, and I'll be right back. Okay. Here's our cover. Get some of these things. Here's our cover. Here's our spine. And we just need to center this spine side to side and top to bottom. Try and get your fins to kind of be standing up straight when you're doing that. And I do see right here, I've got a little bit of the tape hanging over, which I want to pull back. You don't want a tape sticking out because that's not going to eventually get covered. Okay. And I am eyeballing, which is probably a bad idea, but you can measure. That looks pretty good to me, and I'm going to take a pencil if I have one handy, which I thought I did. Line, see how straight that looks. So it's about 1 5/16 at the bottom, not quite at the top, so let's just fix that. And let's just draw a line. It was only off a little, but let's go back just a little bit more. Okay, here we go. Alright, so what I'm going to do is just place that there, and then we need to be about equal top to bottom. That is 1/4 of an inch. That is more than 1/4 of an inch. Okay, that's good. And I'm just making a very tiny mark here because it's not going to be covered. Okay, there we go. Oh, hang on. Just remembered one more thing. We did make our spine shorter than our pages. So you don't have to trim the corners, but I still like to do it. So I'm just trimming each of these little fins, the corner, I think you can see. There we go. That's better. And so I've just removed the first 2 pieces of the tape so the whole thing doesn't stick down on me before I'm ready. Just lining that up with my mark and with the line that I made. That looks good. And then you can just roll it back. And get to the rest of the tape. hope you could see. Checking, and we'll just go ahead and roll that down. There we go. We'll roll that. And go ahead and burnish really well. And we have our binding is all in. And then you want to take your bone folder and carefully work that paper down into that fold. There's adhesive there, remember, so it should grip. Besides the adhesive that's already on the back of it, there's adhesive in that ditch there. Okay, there we go. I have a little, see, I was trying to be careful about not letting my adhesive show, and I've got a tiny little bit right there. You know what, that's going to be under the mat. It'll be right. You need to be especially careful not to let it show here and here, because that's not going to be covered. This will have a mat over it. Okay, so there's our cover and our spine. This feels like a large book to me. I'm so used to the littler ones. But okay, and just play a little bit, not too much, be careful. And keep working the little fins. This is kind of your last chance before you put the pages in. Although even once you get the pages in, you can still tip them back and forth. It's just easier to work them when they're out of the, you know, when the pages are out of the book. Okay, speaking of, let's grab our pages. This page, this last page, still needs something, and I'm kind of waiting to see how much room I have in the book. Because I was semi-thinking of maybe a waterfall here or some other feature, or maybe just another pocket and a waterfall here. We'll see. Alright, so we're going to, with that, oh, you know, let's do test fit first. Get rid of some of these things. This page has zero bulk because it hasn't got any flaps, pockets, nothing. Okay, so that fits just fine. Straight. And pull that off. Now you're not going to put this page all the way to the bottom. Leave yourself a little bit, like maybe a 1/16, maybe even less. And then just press that down, pull off the tape. Let's make sure it looks straight, and it does. And I don't know why I put this tool away. I'm definitely going to need it. And then just reach in and pull that out. There we go, first page. Why, but I always start at the back when I'm putting my pages in. Right. And this one's got a lot of stuff going on, so we want to make sure that we are in the actual space. It's catching. I wonder if it would be easier. This one's definitely going to be tricky, and we have two of them. Okay, here we go. So it does fit. Looks like the tape is a little low on this one, but if it's sticking out, I can show you what to do. Okay, put that down. Pull out the tape. Put down. Just go. Yeah, let's do that. Tape tour. Forgot to check to make sure it was straight, but it is, so that's okay. Alright. And then we have another one of these very bulky pieces. It's not as bulky as that one though, so it should be a little easier. Oh yeah, much easier, and it fits. Okay. Just checking to make sure it's straight with the other pages. Okay. Looks like it might be gonna stick out a little bit. Let's see. Oh, let's do a test kit. Okay, that's good. Make sure it's down. Seems like it's dry. Okay. Go. There. That looks nice. Okay. Now we have our pages in the book, and there's a fair bit of distance. Let's see. Looks like I do have room in the back, plenty of room if I want to do a waterfall. And that. Okay, so we just need to make up our minds about whether we want a waterfall here or here. I kind of feel like here. I always like a waterfall if I can include one, because it just adds so much more room for pictures. And if we're going to do a waterfall here, then we want to do something different here. You know what I might do? Originally, when I did this flap, I was going to put it up here and flip it up, and then I changed my mind and put it here. But I do have two in a row like that, so maybe we'll do a third one down back here that flips up, or maybe a double flap and up and down, because we don't have that many. Well, I mean, I guess we have plenty of flaps, but or what do we have for pockets? We have all the big side pockets. But we don't, let's see, we have a pocket here, and we have this pocket here, and then we have the big side pockets here. Oh, we have 3 pockets here, so we do have a lot of pockets. We don't really need more pockets. So we might do a flap here, and then the waterfall here, or we may still yet do a pocket or a belly band. We haven't done a belly band, and I like them. So maybe just a vertical belly band here and a waterfall here. And then we could do the band to hold the waterfall could match the band here. That might look nice. Okay, so that's what I'm leaning towards. Okay, looking very good. Okay, so it is 7 o'clock in the morning, so I'm going to go have breakfast and then come back and we'll decide what we're going to do next. I think we need to pick out the papers for the cover is what we need to do. And then we can think more about the inside. This is a big book, and I want to make sure I leave myself the papers I want to put on the cover. Okay, I'll be back in a little bit and we will continue on. We want to start on decorating the front cover, and we're going to make the purse pocket element. And I apologize, I got started. I forgot I didn't have the camera on, but I didn't get very far. This is my worksheet where I made the templates. So I was going to originally just give you all these measurements so you could make your own templates, and that seemed too much. So what I ended up doing was going in and making a set of digital templates for you, which will be part of the cutting guide. So check your cutting guide. If you haven't already, go on over to my blog and download that. It's free, of course. And all you have to do is print out your templates, cut them out. Yours are going to look a little different than mine because mine are the hand-drawn ones. And then trace them onto your chosen paper and cut them out. Okay, so I just got started. You also need a base for the pocket front. We're going to start with that, and that needs to be 6 by 3 3/4 and score each of the short ends at 1/2 inch and the bottom at 1/2 inch. Okay, so this is the bottom piece. I'm not sure what I'm going to label it, but you'll be able to tell. It's the only one that's shaped like this. And so I just centered that right along the top edge of the pocket, side to side. Okay, and then we have 2 other pieces. We have this piece, this kind of oddly shaped piece. Yours may be shaped slightly differently, but it's the one with the wider bulge. And then this piece, which is kind of more smooth on the sides, and that one goes on top. Okay. Oh, I almost put it at the bottom. Don't put it at the bottom. You've got your 1/2 inch score line there. It has to go along that line. Okay, so you want to take this piece, you're going to center it right on that, just above that score line. It should be even with the top, so you can just go ahead and put it even with the top and centered. But I have to ink it. I have not yet put this together, so we may be doing a little thinking and planning as I go, as I decide how things are going to go. I have a pretty good idea how I want to do it, but I'm turning this upside down because I want to center this side to side on that piece there. Now, when you do this, you're going to have a little bit of the blue showing here. If you don't like that, then you could make this piece wider. That's up to you. but that I left it that way. I may end up trimming it and going off this way so my pocket is shallower on the sides than it is in the middle. We'll see. We're playing it by ear here. And if you don't want to make this element, because it may be a little tricky, we'll see. If you don't want to make this element, just skip it. This paper is beautiful. Whatever you put on your cover is going to be pretty. All right, and then we're just going to center this. And I am eyeballing everything. This is supposed to look a little bit shabby patchwork, so I'm not too concerned with everything being just so. Okay, there's that one. And if you didn't want to use as much paper as this, you could, you know, cut just 2 pieces, like where it's hidden. You don't actually have to have paper there, but I just found it easier to do it this way. Okay, and now this piece goes on top of that. Making the corners at the bottom and the bottom pretty heavily. I wanted to try and give it a little dimension that way. All right, and then this piece just goes right on top of that one like that. Thinking what I'm going to do with this is mount this pocket on another piece of cardstock where I can put the flap, and then take the whole assembly and put it on the cover. So I think that's what I'm going to do. So let me think about that so that I can tell you what to do. All right, let me get my little scissors, which should be here somewhere, as I was just using them. Okay, how does one lose a pair of bright yellow scissors? Oh, here they are. Okay, these are my cutter bee scissors, which I really like. And like I said, I think I'm going to try and decide how I want to do this. If I want that showing or not. I'm going to leave it for now and we can decide later. I feel like I'm probably going to end up trimming it off, but we'll see. There's the base. Okay, and then we're going to have, we have the flap here, and we've got some trim pieces. We may corner around that. That may be our solution to that. So this goes up above with some trim pieces. And I'm thinking we could also put some trim pieces on the base to just give us some dimension. And then this is going to flip up and you'll be able to put things in the pocket. Okay, let's just cut a base. It can be taller than it needs to be and we can trim it down later. So we need a base 5 inches by, let's make it 6, which is bigger than we need, but it'll give us some room to play with. So 5 by 6 is what I'm going to cut. Okay. So we have this base piece. I'm going to put this at the bottom. And I'm trying to make up my mind about that. And I'm really not happy with having that much blue showing. So let's go ahead and trim that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up at an angle. Sorry, I had to pull it up where I could see it. And I'm just going to trim. I don't mind if a little tiny bit of it shows, but I don't want that much of it showing. There we go. All right, so I'm just going to go down like that and then angle over. And then I think I'm going to take my 1/4 inch rounder and round that. If it'll fit. Whoops, I don't think it's going to fit. Okay, so we're going to have to manually, just going to manually round this corner just so it doesn't look quite so sharp. Okay, just like that. Okay, so now we have this little pocket, which we'll put like this. And eventually we'll have to cut the base as well in width. Let's go ahead and get this down. Okay, so let's put this down. Like that. Okay. All right, so there's our purse pocket. There's the base, and we're going to trim this out later. But we need to figure out our flap. Okay, so I need to cut. I still have a couple pieces I need, which are the 2 trim pieces, and I need to get out my little cutter for that. Hang on. And I gave you those on the template, but you can always just measure them and cut them with your paper trimmer rather than trying to trace and cut out with the template. So hang on. All right, so this one needs to be 1/2 inch by 3.5. So let's just go ahead. 1/2 inch. Whoops, I had some other paper stuck in there. That's 1/2 inch by 3.5, and then I need a piece 1/4 of an inch wide. That seems awfully narrow, by 3 7/8. And then let's take our corner rounder and let's see. All right, I'm using, on this wider one, I'm using the 1/2 inch. If you use the template, I will have already rounded it for you. These came out a little rough with that corner rounder, so I'm going to just even them up with my scissors. to give me a smoother corner, or end, I should say. Okay, so there we go. There's that one. And then this one, just going to use, I don't know if you can see. Hang on, let me get it in here and then I'll show you. I've just centered it in the 1/2 inch rounder, and I'm just rounding that end a little bit. Okay. All right, so then this has to also go on a base. Oh, I forgot to put my magnet. No, I didn't. The magnet goes on. Oh, I almost panicked there. I did panic, but that's all right. So I'm trying to decide how best. All right. I can't remember exactly how these were supposed to go, I'll be perfectly honest. I think, if I remember rightly, this one went down there a little bit, and then this one went on top of it, like that. Yep, that's how that went. Okay, let's go ahead and ink these. And I don't have any pieces for the handles because I'm thinking I'm going to use some sort of cord or ribbon or something. So I haven't decided on that yet. All right, so what I need, let's go ahead and cut a base for this. I need a piece 4 by 2.5. And I actually have a scrap here that's bigger than that, but that's fine. I'm just going to use this. That seems like kind of a waste. Hang on, let me see if I have a smaller scrap that we can use. Actually, I had second thoughts. I'm going to use this larger piece, which is much bigger than we need, because I need a hinge at the top. So I'm going to give myself a 1/2 inch score. So find yourself a scrap that is probably more like 3 by 4. Mine is bigger, but it has to be at least 3 by 4. Okay. And we're going to build it with that fold in mind. So this piece and this piece we can glue together first. Right? And what you want to do is you want to center this one on top of this one, and you want to put you want to shift this one down so that it's shifted about, let's see, about 3/8 of an inch, like that. However, yeah, we can do that. I'm trying to think where I want to put this magnet, because there is going to be a magnet. We're going to line the inside of this flap, and that's where we're going to put the magnet, is what I'm thinking. Or we'll put it under here before we glue it to here. But in any case, we can go ahead and glue this down. And that's probably not enough glue, but it's enough for me to get started. I'm using that stripe as my guide. Yeah, we need to go up here a little bit. Okay. And just centering that. over. That looks good. Okay. What do I do with my, here it is. There we go. Okay. So then, do that. This is going to go down so that it's just about even with, do you see how the length of it, if it's up here, it's, it doesn't look quite right. You need to have it down a little bit so that the curved edge just about matches the curved edge of the piece below it, like that. So that's about, you're gonna have to play with yours just to see where it looks good. Mine is just about 1/8 inch. And then this piece is gonna go on top. So I think mine's too low. I'll bring it up a little bit, maybe a 1/16 of an inch. That looks good. Oh, wait a minute, I had the wrong side up. I even inked the wrong side. It's supposed to go with the blue side up. Hang on. Glad I caught that. Okay. A lot of this is just eyeballing, and remember, no one but you is going to know where you intended something to go. If it doesn't end up just so, just don't point it out to anybody. When they tell you how cute it is, you just say, thank you very much. Don't say, oh, I wanted that piece to be a 1/16 of an inch higher. Okay, I'm just wiggling that a little bit to try to get it centered. There we go. And if it's not centered, it's no big deal, because I think we're probably going to come back and just trim that so that it matches. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so then once you get that down, just trim off any bit that's hanging over. All right, there we go. And then this piece is going to go on top. And you don't need, you know, you don't have to layer all this stuff. You could just use those two pieces. I just like the way it looks. Just wiggle that a little bit. There we go. Okay. Oh, I put way too much glue on the back of that. I forgot it was going to be sticking up. Okay. There we go. Now, this needs to be attached to this, and then we're going to trim out and just leave our flap. So you can see I'm using way too big a piece, but it's a piece that I had. So, but we're going to attach a magnet here first. So let's go ahead and grab a magnet. And actually, I'm wondering if I want to do that at all. Hang on. Because there's a circle that goes here with the magnet under that. It's gonna be all right. Yeah, I want to put the magnet down, but I gotta hide the magnet. And oh no, I don't, because it's gonna go there. Sorry, I'm dithering because as I said, I haven't done this. Usually, things this complicated, I test before I show them to you. But I really didn't want to have to cut this thing twice, so you're having to watch me dither over it. Okay, there's that. And make sure you're on the back. Okay. And I'm putting it right about there. Okay. That's going to go there. It's going to be a little bit of a bump there, but that's okay. Now, before I go any further, sorry. Okay, I've got my 1.5 inch punch, and I've got a scrap of color craft cardstock. Sorry, I was cut that out. We're going to use that to hide the magnet there. I mean, we're semi-copying a little bit the purse that's in the collection on the cut-apart sheets. Okay, that's fine. Okay, that's going to go there. Might as well ink it so that it's ready to go. Right. Actually, you know what? I'm going to give it a little ink all over. It's a little light. I'm not sure what cardstock this is. I don't think this is my Artisan. It doesn't feel like it, and the color's a little off. So that's better. It's still a little yellow. Hang on. Sorry, this color was bothering me. This is the Artisan. I mean, you can see it's a nicer color. I'm going to use that. Hopefully you can hear me saying I just prefer the Artisan, so I pulled out a piece of Artisan instead. There we go. Oh, much better. See how much nicer that color is? Here's the, I don't know, whatever cardstock that was I pulled out, but it was not as nice as the Artisan. I'm not going to all this trouble to use something that I don't like. Okay, so that's going to go there. Okay, this already has its magnet. So we're just going to put this on our scrap up against this score line that we made. Okay, I'm turning this upside down in hopes that I can see it. Looks good. Okay, and then we're going to take our little cutter bee scissors. Do not cut off the flap. Okay, we're going to angle in to that corner, and then we're just going to fussy cut around our flap, and I'm going to pull it near me so I can see it. Okay. And down here you can see it's the magnet is holding that up, so I'm just going to put a little more glue in there and squeeze that down, and we might put a clothespin or something there to clamp it if it comes up again. Okay, that looks pretty good. And there is our flap. And let's see what I do with the pin to my glue. Lost it again. Constantly losing that. There it is. Okay. Okay. So this that could actually go inside if we want, or we can lift it up a little bit, and I think I want it up. That's going to be just about so that the flap is just at the upper edge of the purse. It's like that, and centered. I think that looks pretty good. And I think for this, I am going to use some score tape. I want to be able to get it up and fiddle with it just in case I don't get it where I want it. Oh, you know what? Let's use 3/8. If this doesn't work, I can use undo to get it up. If I use the glue, I'm stuck. Oh, don't mind my head, please. There we go. All right. And I am going to, I'm holding this up so that that spot where I just put the glue, the tape, is not on touching anything yet. I want to get this straight. I want it straight and I want it centered. I think that's pretty good. And we'll put a little lining in there. Okay, looking good. All right, now we need to trim around and we need to add the circle and the magnet. So here's our circle. We'll do that after we trim. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim up along here. I'm trimming the background piece up across here and up around the curve of the top, you know, the flap. All right, and you won't see me doing this on camera because I need to pull it up where I can see it. Okay, there we go. I think we did it. I think we made our little purse pocket and it's adorable. And you can see it's lifted away from here. You can glue that if you want. I'm not going to. I'm just because once it's all going to get glued down. So it'll be fine. And now we need to put our magnet here. I need my glasses. Had to take them off for that. Okay. Whoa. Let me just shoot my magnets across the room. Okay. I have got to go on Country Craft Creations tomorrow and order myself some cardstock because my supply is definitely getting thin. I need cardstock, I need chipboard. I've made a lot of projects lately, big projects, and I'm just running out of some basics. I need some score tape. Okay. Here we go. Whoops, don't think we need that. All right, and then we're just gonna, whoops, you know what? Just forgot my little scrap. I like to put a scrap in between because these magnets are so strong. Sometimes you can't get them apart if you don't have something there. There we go. And then we're gonna put this circle there. All right, I wanna make sure it's reasonably centered. Side to side. Okay. Okay. Now I'm going to kind of hold it and then put the magnet down. And then I'm just sort of shifting it around until it looks like it's centered pretty well. There we go. And then we are going to cut a little piece to line this, and we may attempt to line that, but I don't know about that. That shape's pretty funky. This I think we'll be able to manage. Oh, that's so cute. I'm so happy with it. And I think down the road we may put a little jewel or something right there. And what have I got? I'm just looking to see what I have sitting here for scraps. I've got this stripe, which is pretty. Actually, I've got this strip right here. Is that big enough? Nah, it's kind of a hot mess. Let's see. Let's go ahead and line it. Let's finish it while we've got it out. Hang on. Now, we need a piece for the lining. Three and 3/4 by an inch, inch and a quarter. And we're going to use this. Let's just go with an inch and a quarter by 3 3/4. Okay. All right, and then so that's going to go in there, and we're going to need to cut that angle. So I'm putting it in here where it's going to go, right? And then I'm just going to turn it over and grab a pencil, and I'm just marking what I need to cut off. Okay. Oops. There we go. I'm marking inside the little cutting line that I made because I don't mind having a little bit of reveal on the blue if we so desire. Whoops, that just wants to slide in there. I think I need to cut a little bit more off. Okay, let's see how that looks. Perfect. Okay, let's ink it and let's put it down. Oops, I don't have my ink open. I'm using Vintage Photo for this. Seems like a good choice for this collection. Just use whatever you like. Ooh. There we go. All right. And since the top of this pocket kind of, whoops, flips back, we should be able to get this in. I was going to say reasonably easily right before I made a mess of it. Okay. Sure we didn't glue that pocket shut at all, and we didn't. Looks good. Don't know what we're going to put in here, but it'll be cute, whatever it is. Oh, I'm so happy with that. Okay, so I hope it was clear how to make that. Again, you're going to have all your templates, except for a couple things like that lining that I just showed you how to cut. And the circle, I used just this 1.5 inch punch. And you don't have to use a circle. You could use, you know, if you want to do a fussy cut out of the paper, something like that, that'll work. Okay, so now I don't know what I'm going to use for the handles, but I'm not too worried about it because I can add those as we go. Now, what I'm thinking, let me go ahead and bring it up. All right, here's the book. All right, and this is going to go on the front of the book along with lots of other stuff. And let me see. This is actually what I was thinking of for the paper, along with this. Yeah, I think that's going to look nice. And then I have this calendar page that I'm not going to use, and I think I'm going to cut across here and use this strip across the bottom here where it says special days, and then we'll have our little purse and probably some flowers. I think it's going to be cute. Okay, I'm going to cut this to size. Might as well get that down. And so it's going to be 6. I'm gonna leave the large. I'm dithering because I dither inside. I used mostly 1/8 inch reveals. All right, I'm gonna cut it 6 7/8 by 8 7/8, and if I don't like it, I can trim it down. Yep. Okay, so 6 7/8 by 8 7/8. Damn, let's get that down. All right. I'm just wondering if I should trim some off. Actually, you know what, I'm going to put it this way so that I have that. I'm wondering if I should trim some off because I'm going to put that border. I think I will. Hang on, I'm going to trim 1 inch or so off of this. I didn't measure that. I just cut some off just to reduce bulk down here at the bottom. Let me think before I put this down. If I need to think about a closure here. I'm almost certainly going to use a ribbon closure of some kind, and I feel like it probably needs to be under this mat. Hang on. All right, I think I'm going to do a double seam binding. That needs to be long enough to go across the front, across the spine. You know what, I'm just going to, however long this piece is of the sort of beigey color, that's how long I'm cutting. It's probably longer than I need, but hang on. I do want to leave, if I can, I want to leave some to use on tags, but I can always order some more if I need it. Yeah, that's definitely not long enough. Because remember, this book is going to be a lot chunkier in the end than it is now. Let's see if that's enough. All right. I'm going to cut it right about, oops, sticking to the magnet. Right about here. It's not going to leave me a lot extra, but it will leave me at least a little bit of this to use on a tag. And I'll order some more tomorrow when I order my my other supplies. There we go. Okay, so then let's just go ahead and find the center. All right, that's the center. Right there. Okay. All right, let's. All right, what I'm going to do here is just put a piece of score tape right up the middle. You know what? It would probably help if I made sure that was the front of the book. It is. Okay. And I'm going to just glue those just like that, just to hold in place while I glue down this mat. Okay, that's good. Another thing you could do, which I just thought to mention, with the purse, the little purse pocket that we made, is, and we probably will end up lining that flap, by the way, and what made me think of it is you could not use a magnet and just leave that flap open with all kinds of little things sticking out of it, which is what we may end up doing in the end. But it can be closed, of course, but you don't have to close it. Okay, there's that. And then let's cut that border piece. All right, so I've cut this piece, and I'm thinking a piece, perhaps a piece of lace under that, or a piece of paper that's cut to look like lace with an edge punch. Let me see what I've got. I'll be right back. This nice piece that I could put underneath. Of that. And then this there. And again, we might line that. And of course, we're going to have something up here for handles. I like that. I don't generally go for lacy frillies on my albums, but I think in this particular case, it's a good choice. Okay. So, you know what? I'm just going to tie these to get them out of the way. That out of the way. And let's think Fabri-Tac's definitely going to be the way to go. And I'm going to put it right about there. I don't want a lot of it sticking. Excuse me. I don't want a lot of it sticking up above the paper, but I think that's about enough. So let me grab, what am I going to use? A scrap. Let's just grab a scrap. Okay. All right. And this one says special days. You know what? I want special days. Oh, I don't. Yeah. This is the back. All right. Let me ink this. Fabri-Tac. And since this is identical on both sides, it makes it easy for me to see what I'm doing. Okay, here we go. Go. And I'm leaving this long at each end. I can trim it off after. Probably should press it, but I'm not going to. Okay. over to dry. It's going to take a little bit, although actually it doesn't have to dry, does it? Since we're going to be gluing it down. It's fine if it's sticky. Okay, I gotta get rid of the scrap though before I accidentally glue it to something. Okay, so let's go ahead and trim these edges. All right, that looks good. And let's get this lace out of the way. Put that away in a minute. And this piece is going to go here. Oh, I really like that. Okay. Again, you could have left this open if you wanted to make a little pocket out of it, but since we already have that pocket and it's going to overlap this slightly, I didn't. And you just want to line that up with the edges, get it straight. Looks good. Oh, it's a little, looks like it could have been over a little touch. Okay, I think I might have got it where I want it. Okay. And we're probably going to have to make some flowers or something because this collection doesn't have any. Or we'll have to make our own. That's going to be really, really cute. And I don't want to glue it down yet because we may want to put the handle behind it. All right. I think, let's get this under here. Just untying this. I like to use this thing to hold these flat. There we go. Give us an idea what it's going to look like when it's flat. Oh yeah, cute. All right, let's leave all this to dry. Catch our breath, that was a lot. And end it here. And it's all downhill from here. Once we got this done, I think it's going to be, everything's easy from here. All right, well, thank you so much. Good luck with it. Reach out, of course, in the comments if you have any problems with it, questions, concerns. Yours may look a little bit different, like I said, because I used a digital file. I drew it in Photoshop for you. I feel like I need to trim that little bit of blue there. I'll do that while we talk. But just take your time with it. Don't rush it. And you should be fine. There we go. Again, reach out to me, though, if you have any issues. Follow along step by step, and you should be good. If you don't want to do this, by all means, you could skip it. Just put one of the beautiful cut-aparts from the collection here. It would be great. Or even just a photo mat. You know, just leave it plain with some a burgundy photo mat or something, if you don't want to do this. And I guess that is it. So thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. Don't forget to go and get the cutting guide that's going to have your templates for this pocket. And next time we'll may finish this cover, or we may work some more on the inside. Haven't decided, because I do probably need to go through my stash and maybe even go to the store to get something for this handle. We'll see. But anyway, thanks again for watching. I'm rambling. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. If you have, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. It does make a difference. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you are notified when I post my next video. Share this one if you know anybody you think would enjoy it. And I will see you next time. Bye.